What's going on? Excuse me. What's going on, everybody? Can everybody hear me? Just out of pure curiosity, can everybody hear me before I go through the effort of going through what I typically do to mute the sound? Everybody can hear me. Good. That's great. That's good, which it actually means that finally, after 10 streams, I have figured out how to do this. 10 streams, 1,500 videos. You would think that I just started yesterday. You would think that I just started yesterday. I want to thank each and every one of you for being here. For those of you who are viewing from YouTube, long in the future, or perhaps just a short time after this is concluded, we missed you. But here we are in living color. So this is decision-making time, essentially, and it's kind of a misnomer considering the choice has already been made. I want to talk about this only briefly. I really don't want to spend a long time discussing things on my end, because I know that you guys have probably your fair share of questions. You guys probably have your fair share of concerns, thoughts, suggestions. I was thinking about preparing a statement, like writing something. But then as much as I thought about that, I thought that's really not the style of this channel, nor has it ever been. It has never been the style of this channel to read something that was prepared. With the exception of CKN goes to the mail, or goes through the mail, reads the mail. And most other prompts that you've seen with pieces of paper have been blank. So, as opposed to having a prepared statement, I've opted just to shoot from the hip, which has gotten me in trouble before and will no doubt get me in trouble again. There is no doubt that there has been a large buzz about the idea of a hiatus, to the point where somebody made a video earlier today talking about burnout and didn't use the channel name, but alluded that there is no charisma to any of the videos, that I mumble incoherently to the camera, and that YouTube burnout is bullshit, that it would never happen to him. Well, that's fine. That's good. I'm glad for that, gent. I'm glad that that happened. I'm glad that he said that. I really am. Because, and this is the reason why, because a couple years ago, I would have said the same thing. I would have said the same damn thing. And I'd have meant every word, and I would have gone through the next few years without any trouble, without any difficulty. But those are also words that sound like from somebody that doesn't have very much going on in their life, you know what I mean? Somebody who does not have much to really linger in the background. Not a lot of changes going on. Not a lot of things that are really making the thing seem a bit more harrowing, to make it seem a little bit more like it's a nuisance, a hassle. Well, you just don't let it get to you. Whenever you have a lot of change happen, everything gets to you. If you're that strong where you're able to focus, then that's great. That's fantastic. Honestly, all of that stuff that was said didn't faze me a bit. It was the whole mumbling incoherently thing that got to me out of anything, out of any piece of information presented in that video, principally because the video that I'm speaking about is 17 minutes long. I couldn't make it through 4. And that's not me being a jackass or a jerk. It's just the truth. I couldn't. Most people would say that about mine. That's fine. But yeah, this idea has certainly sparked some commentary. It has sparked a lot of rumor. And I'm confirming it. As of 7:30 tonight, whenever the stream ends, I may take a little short break somewhere in between the hours, or may do something to that regard. But as of 7:30 tonight, Cover Killer Nation is on hiatus. And it is not going to be one that is designed to be very long. Today is the 13th of October. My goal is to be back in full swing, mind you. My goal is to be back in full swing just in time for the newest Now album. Because for whatever reasons, whenever I do the top 10 lists for those albums, I feel great. I feel reinvigorated. There's a lot to talk about. It reminds me of such, so many good times in my life, listening to that crap in the music store that I worked at, talking with people about it. It is just it's a real booster. And I feel like that if there's going to be any video that needs made that can get me back into the full swing, that will make me feel comfortable and confident being back in this driver's seat, that'll be it. That'll be the one. But I will also state that if you see any content from me before then, it's because it's an album that I couldn't pass up talking about. And it will probably, looking at what's coming out this month, there's like one opportunity for that, maybe two. Or if somebody does something incredibly fucked up and needs a reaction. This is just a goal. The goal is to be back right around October the 31st. October the 30th, actually. So 17 days from today, roughly 3 weeks from now, is the goal. Will it be shorter than that? I would doubt it. Could it be longer than that? If whenever I'm going through the making process of that video, it still isn't being felt, then it could be. But looking at what is coming in November and the very few that's coming in December, as far as albums are concerned, I think that it's a good time to come back. I think that we've made it through the part of the year that needed to be insane. And it was insane, and it actually, in part, perpetuated this. But even with all that said, this is what's needed to happen. This is exactly what is needed to happen. Now, one final thing, and then I want to sort of turn the tables to the future, because there is still future plans. I'm going to adjust that a little bit as well. Hopefully that looks pretty good. I don't want anybody to tell you differently or to make you feel any differently that this is, first of all, that this is bullshit. And second of all, that this is your fault. I feel like I'm a parent right now that is talking to a child, and I just divorced their mom. But it isn't because you guys didn't do enough. Some people might say, well, if the views aren't there or if the money's not there or whatever, it's not, obviously he doesn't think it's worth it. Believe me, there have been moments in my professional life with this. I don't even like calling it that. But there's been moments within the 5 years I've been doing this where those thoughts have crossed my mind, but have always been silenced very quickly with the one sentiment that that's not what it's all about. Anytime I talk about a views threshold, it's because I think it'd be really cool. I like numbers. Numbers fascinate me for some stupid ass reason. So I'm always wondering, hey, can we get it up here? That'd be cool. It'd be really, really neat. And I remember during the Alud Divinium Insanus album review, I said that I would much rather see that video go to 1 million views than have Elite Divinium and Sanus sell 1 million copies. I don't know how many they sold, but we did, you know, we have like 56,000 views on that video. So by comparison, who's winning? Probably them. Doesn't matter. It was still a great accomplishment. A lot of you fine folks came over because of that. Those of you who are a bit older. None of this is your fault. None of this is the fault of the fans. This is all me. I mean, this is all on me. Doing this for 5 years is something else. I'll tell you what. Whenever I was working at the music store and I just passed my 5-year anniversary and stuff like that, I was getting tired of that too. But not because I hated the business. It was because of how the business was changing and how the store was changing and stuff like that. And then whenever they liquidated me, it was a huge blow. It was really rough. But going back in there now, seeing my old manager and everything like that, having him say that he wished that he could rehire me back instantaneously on the fly, and I looked at the store, was like, dude, I'm not sure if I'd want it, because it's so different. You know, that's the thing. Like, you have to roll with change a little bit, but there's a certain moment where he and I kind of looked at one another and realized that the business has kind of forgotten about what it's all about. Doing this for 5 years, you would think would be different, because like the gentleman who made that video said, it's pretty easy. You know, you sit down here, you talk. It really isn't all of that hard in his mind. It's a little harder than you think. I mean, that's probably the reason why, and this is now where I'm going to sound a little saucy and tart. It's probably one of the reasons why one of the two of us is a little bit up here and the other is down here. It's because that's a very simplified version of what it's really all about. So, you know, there is a certain element of preparation. There's a certain element of wizardry that really comes down to it. You just sit there and talk. Yeah, you're absolutely right about that. Do you one take all your stuff? That's fine. If you do, that's wonderful. That's great. Do you have the charisma? Do you have the atmosphere, the feeling, you know? And then it's also all about connection. You know, there is a certain level of connection. Maybe the reason why somebody who speaks technically about albums doesn't do as well as somebody who speaks a little bit more from the fan side, the emotional side, whatever it may be. Maybe there's a little bit more of a clamoring for the everyman, considering we seem to be living in a world that is ruled by people who claim to be up here. I don't know. That's kind of looking at things a little bit too deep, but this isn't your fault. This is nobody's fault. This is nobody's fault. This was all about the money, Cover Killer Nation. If this was all about the moolah, this would be the stupidest time in the channel's history to have a hiatus, because last month was the best month, financially speaking, in this channel's history. If it was because of views, same reason. It was the best month views-wise for a 30-day period. It was the best quarter. We're having the best year. None of it would make sense. It's not your fault. It's all me. It's all the things that I've been going through throughout the course of this calendar year. It's all me stupidly transforming this into a job as a mentality for a couple of months. Kind of cracking a little bit here and there. Trying to do way more than I could. And now all of those juices, all of that energy, everything that I tried to squeeze out of my brain like a sponge is now gone for right now. So I just need some time for that to get wet again. Get wet, you know, ladies. Ladies, anyone, any ladies in there? Or is this a sausage fest? It probably is. Probably sausage fest. Well, might have to start thinking about some dudes. Who wants to wet my sponge? No, I'm kidding. All right. I want to talk about the future. But I got to do something first. Hold on. All right. I haven't done this on camera in a while. Considering the occasion, it seems rather fitting. Sadly, it's not a cigar. No, you jerk. You son of a bitch. Oh, well. I want to talk a little bit about the future. I'm glad the camera also isn't focused at my window because that looks like shit. That's funny as fuck. I don't do this in here, by the way. So this is super treat. Super treat. So I want to talk about the future a little bit because this isn't the end. This is not the end. This is far from the end for Cover Killer Nation. Okay? And I've been thinking about this for the past 24 hours. Really, I've been thinking about this for the past, 6 weeks. It's been a long time. I've been thinking about a lot of things while all of this has kind of been going down. God, that feels good. Try to get it over by the window. But anyway, one of the biggest things that I think I really would like to accomplish in the future, and a lot of you are saying, you know, up the quality a little bit and everything like that. I do need a new camera. That is just unavoidable. So that's something that's going to have to happen. Some new equipment is going to have to go down. I think for that, I'm going to have to go the Patreon route. I think that's something that just seems to make sense right now. I'm not going to worry or concern myself with that until after the hiatus is complete. Mainly because there's still a lot of input that can still be made by not only you guys, but a lot of input that I can kind of creatively juice out. Or I talk with a lot of people outside of the channel as well that are sort of outsiders, you know, not true members of the nation, but also friends or people that know people that have done this stuff before and all that. I don't keep up with a lot of this junk, you know. That's another one of the problems, you know, with doing something like this. If you're really doing it right, you have yourself. This is the only year where posting multiple videos on various days, like we're talking on a rather constant occasion, has been the norm. That was never the way that the channel used to be. It was never what Cover Killer Nation used to be. And really, I'm sure that that red flagged a lot of you that something was up. But, you know, just soldiering on and stuff like that. Shorts are better. No, they're not. Why pay the same amount for shorts whenever you can pay the same amount for 100s? Man, oh man. Rookie smokers up in here. What the fuck, man? I'm kidding. I'm rich. I'll give you $234,900. Well, then the hiatus is now becoming a vacation. I am moving to the Cayman Islands. I am setting up a professional grade studio, and now we can work on the truest of true Cover Killer Nation projects, which is the Expendables for Netflix and chill. But you have vaping. We get it. You vape. God. Hiroshima, Nagasaki, the Twin Towers, the wreck of the Hesperus, the fall of Rome. Damn Sphinx probably vapes now. Goddamn vaping kitty. That's what's probably up. So yeah, there's that. And I made an official decision also that I'm not going to be gone from YouTube during this stretch. I'm going to be doing something different. I'm going to be trying out something brand new, something different. Those of you who are in the last stream know probably what I am speaking about, but I will reiterate it once again. The idea of Cover Killer Nation or CKN versus everything or CKN versus the world is just too intriguing of a proposition too intriguing of an idea for me to pass up, you know. And honestly, that is sort of where my thoughts have been leaning in the last 5 to 6 weeks. It's been a lot more of this, like, speaking on topics and more of not so much social awareness, but just sort of throwing out there the absurdities of what this world has really become. Because think about this. I spoke with my father a couple of weeks ago, and we have determined throughout the course of our conversation together that everything that was great about this world, especially here in America, we have found a way in the past 31 years. So ever since I've been alive, and really with some things, it's been even further back than that, we have found a way to fuck it all up. We found a way to somehow destroy just about everything about it. It's to the point now where to be an activist is considered an insult. To go out there and this is because of the whole 1%, 99% march or whatever the hell, that really caused a lot of backlash. We don't enjoy anything anymore as a nation. We really don't. Someone made a point a couple of weeks ago. I forget if it was in a comment or if it was on Facebook, wherever the fuck it was. We don't enjoy anything universally anymore. We don't just kind of, everyone's trying to make an argument to the contrary about something because it's going to generate them heat and generate them social buzz. So you're never going to see much of anything with universal acclaim anymore. You're never going to see much of anything that seems to have just a beloved fan base. It's something where there's always going to be some sort of, well, we've ruined that. Imagine if instead of coming out in the early portions of the 1980s, imagine if Number of the Beast came out in 2015. Does it have the same cultural impact that it did whenever it came out in the 80s? Probably not in this day and age. In this day and age, probably not. You know, here's the funny thing. Even though it was a change of pace for Metallica, the Black Album comes out in 2015 as opposed to in the early 1990s. Does it have the same impact? Does it have the same impact? Does it sell as many copies as it sells? Probably not, especially not here in 2015, considering we've really become the lords of downloading and streaming and everything like that. But vinyl sales have now eclipsed stream sales, which is pretty sweet. So CKN versus the World is going to get its launch very, very soon, probably within the next couple of days. First video will probably be up this weekend. That will be something that will probably be happening on a 1 video a week basis. So I speak about one topic or maybe 1 or 2 topics, make 1 video for it. I would like for that to have a little bit more editing, but I can't promise anything considering time is not exactly on my side. But either way, that is the plot for that at this moment. Might not even need editing and all that fancy pants garbage, considering we're just talking about some of the things that are already sadly being spoken to death. But perhaps the problem is that the rhetoric that is being used is being muted by its repetition. Maybe the rhetoric needs somebody to say what people are afraid to say. Aside from that, my plot is to just recharge. Like I said, my only reasoning for coming back early would be if somebody said something or did something completely screwed up that needs a reaction video. Aside from that, maybe an album that has a huge appeal. And you might wonder what happens to the albums that maybe I would have reviewed or wanted to review, like the new Breed album, which just came out last week, which is a fantastic release. How does that affect their contention for Album of the Year? The answer to that question is very simple. If it cracks the list, it cracks the list. This year will not have the stipulation that I had to have reviewed it, and that's simply because of albums that are released during the time of the hiatus. Anything else from earlier, anything that I missed, sadly will not be included on the list, but there's going to be still a separate list later on this year that chronicles a lot of the ones that I didn't get to. That's been something that's been in the works since August, ever since things got really, really hectic. That is not off the table. That is still going to happen. The Rush discography is not off the table. The Porcupine Tree discography is not off the table. During this time, if I get the urge to do any sort of recording, it may be stuff of that caliber, stuff that is just really, really low key. I don't aim to be completely and totally useless during this 3-week stretch or whatever, however long it ends up being. It is not my intention to cease and desist everything. And that's not what we're going to do. We're not going to cease and desist everything. But whenever it comes to posting, whenever it comes to new stuff, just need a break. Just need to step away. Green Razor has a good question. Do you think that radio stations should each play one classic song every day to help boost old artist sales and introduce their music to a whole new generation? I think that it would be really cool if there was a radio station out there that was not dedicated to either just old or just new rock. I think what really is lacking out there, and this is another thing that has been ruined over the course of the past 30 years or so, what is really lacking out there is a true station that is looking out for the genre of music as opposed to looking out for their ratings and their bank book. And I know that that seems like a really, really anti-capitalist thing to say and all this other garbage, but just hear me out for a minute. We're in an era right now where satellite radio is enjoyed by so many people, to the point that whenever I worked in the store, there was stuff that wasn't even out yet that these folks had heard because of satellite radio. So it is touching a lot of people, and a lot of those people are truckers or people that are in their vehicles a good bit and want to listen to something that they really like. I think that in the case of rock, if you would be able to blend classic rock with some of the new stuff, have a show on there that maybe is an hour full of classics, have another show on there that is spotlighting news, the new stuff that maybe just came out that week or just come out that month, whatever it might be. But there's so damn much out there that it makes it rough. To find a format that really works to that situation would require a hell of a lot of tweaking and a hell of a lot of... you would make some mistakes before you had some success. And there's not a lot of professional grade stations out there that are willing to go through that kind of trial and error. Over the weekend, I was at a festival that was celebrating Dawn of the Dead. And a couple of the individuals that were on a panel were talking about how the myriad of things that sort of went wrong, or the challenges that they faced in order to get the film not only to production, but also to get it to print, to get it done. And working alongside George Romero and being just in a really, really strange but somehow fruitful environment. Just making some radical and rash decisions just to do it. Do we have anybody out there these days that has that kind of balls? To know that having a party in a hotel room with a fresh carpet, just so you could play a game where you roll little marbles at army men. And the reason why you're doing this is because it's a different floor than yours at the office. It's a different surface. It's smoother, cleaner. Or what about having a mascot that's something radical, like a monkey or an owl? Things like that. Do we have people that are that bold these days? Or are we too afraid that it is no longer out of the box thought and that everybody is looking at it just as an angle? Is everything really an angle? Or are some things just fun? Some things just there because they can be. It's not like there's a monkey in Dawn of the Dead. Not like there's an owl in there either. You know, as a community, are we a real strong community, or are we just a bunch of people that are all out for their own self-interest? You know, how often do we collab with one another? How often do we talk with one another? You know, there's a lot of questions that could be answered. And that's not just on a level of the metal community. That's really as a generalized society. Do we collab with each other with our different projects and the different things that are going on with our lives, or are we really becoming a culture that is embracing the idea of being closed off? Does the idea of working with other people scare us? Does the idea of who you work with mean all of a sudden in the eyes of some folks that you've sold out, or whatever it may be? Should it matter? Ladies and gentlemen, it is 6:03 p.m. It is time to open this up to all of you. I want to be here till 7:30, and I know that you guys can make that happen with ease. I know that you guys have questions, concerns. I know that there are many things that are on your mind. All that I ask that you do for me is give me about 5 minutes as a break, and then I'm going to come back, and for the remainder of the time that we are here, for the remainder of the time that this stream is active, is going to be dedicated to your questions and dedicated to your concerns. If you hear some weird noises, I just plugged my phone in. I should have tweeted this out, but you know what? Whatever. A little bit too late now. To reiterate, because I just saw Josh. Josh just came into the room. Josh, the hiatus is a thing. It's happening. The estimated date that I will be back will be the 31st of this month. Although I'm not leaving YouTube for good. There's going to be a launch of a new channel here, probably by the weekend. CKN versus the world, which is a little bit more topic based. The burnout is real. This is all not just some hype fest so I can score 8,000 views or however many it's been. Who gives a crap? That's not what this is about. It's not about views. It's not about cash. Because if it was, this would be the complete wrong time to leave, considering this has been probably the most successful stretch in channel's history. So yeah, get your questions together. Don't post them yet. Don't post them just yet. Wait for me to come back. It'll be about 5 minutes. I'll be right back, guys. right. What's going on? We are back. We are live. The feed does not yet show that, but we are good to go. So, for those of you who Pantera bread, my favorite place. My favorite place. All right, people are already throwing some questions out there. Let's see what we got. What advice would you give to young and upcoming album reviewers? One of the biggest thing is to use your own voice. Be your own person. If you are one that likes to speak a little bit more technically, that's fine, but do not forget about the side that is all about feel. Remember that truth in any sort of speaking about things, don't devoid it of emotion, because emotion is a powerful, powerful tool, which of course makes it sound as though that's what this is all about. It's just about motivating people to want to buy music, and that's part of your job. Part of your job is to motivate them to love music and to be a real part of this process. If you don't feel that you're strong in front of a camera, strong with public speaking, practice, 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 practice. It isn't always about all the flair. It isn't always about all the glitz and glamour. If you have some production abilities and things like that, that's great. Use that to your advantage. Use that to your advantage. But the message is the most important thing. Whew. Do I plan to do any podcasts? Not at this time. I saw somebody say, what happened to Theater of the Sun? And there is a potential for a comeback for Theater of the Sun, all depending on how things pan out. I was running that series talking about each episode of The Walking Dead last season, and then ended up running into some difficulty with cable and things like that. I had to move and all this other garbage and get up, so that sort of effectively put that on hold. May do something or try to do something for Ash versus Evil Dead, because I'm just really, really stoked and excited about that. I'd like to do that. I had plans earlier this year to run through the whole entire Hannibal series with my girlfriend and have us do something on that. Now I'm really glad that we didn't do that, to be perfectly blunt. Principally because I just don't know if that would have been a good idea. I really don't know if that would have been a good idea for a couple of different reasons that I won't get into, because that will take way too much time to explain. But might try to do something for Ash versus Evil Dead, so don't necessarily don't dismiss that just yet. But hey, see you later, Mr. Jack Kokos. Mr. Jack Kokos. Do I like Anthrax? Of course I do. What's my opinion on Billy MC? Oh, Billy MC. Oh, my God. Oh, Billy, you came so far. Came so freaking far. Doing stuff with Lime, Popsicle, and Tinky Dink, and then what the hell happened? I saw the video of him. It was like his channel trailer or something, where he actually got to see Billy MC. And man, like, he looks like one of those folks that whenever I worked at the music store, he'd walk in and he just like he would have this perpetual smile on his face all the time. He'd like walk up to you with like maybe a little bounce in his step. And he would say to you, "Hey, I'm Billy MC. Do you have any seasons of the A-Team? If you don't, it's cool, but I really like the A-Team." And then just go on this like huge dissertation about how Mr. T from the A-Team represents justice by himself, and that the remainder of the cast are just supporting arms of this eagle of freedom and ass-kicking justice that Mr. T represents. Do I like movies from 2015? I've not seen a single film from 2015. I've not seen a single one. Would I do another gameplay video? I would think about it. I actually was trying to do a little something where whenever I streamed instead of just seeing my ugly mug, you could see me playing something like The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past, which is my favorite game of all time. Didn't work out quite the way I wanted it to, considering there would be no way for me to monitor the chat. It would almost be something where I'd need to like dig somebody up that I watch and actually get a couple moments of their time so that they can kind of give me some advice on how to do something like that, but really not in the plans for right now. This is like a microphone right here. This is pretty sweet. How's everybody doing? Super Mario Cops to Nakarata. What? What is my favorite movie? Asks Halini Snow. Man, Devil's Advocate, I really think is still my favorite film, though Inception is up there. Inception's a terrific film. Very, very, very either underappreciated by some or thought to be overrated by others. Christopher Nolan's vision on that film should have been a huge, huge motivator for the future, considering its originality, but instead we are still left in this dump of Hollywood that is just dead set on sequels, dead set on beating the superhero horse straight to death, reviving it with a defibrillator, and then beating it to fucking death again. We might be grossing billions with our films, but are they necessarily films that need making? Guardians of the Galaxy, though, last year was just phenomenal. You know, to really take something that was not the biggest or the most important part of the Marvel Universe and make it easily, in my eyes, the best Marvel film of the franchise. Got to give a lot of credit to the people that they had working on that film. They really showed it the care and love that it deserved. And plus, it is the first role of Dave Bautista's that I have loved him in. Because I affectionately call Dave Bautista Dave Botchtista. Because he was a human botch machine that has only since been superseded by Sin Cara in the WWE. Oh, man. The new Transformers made a 1 billion plus. You're absolutely right. It did. This year, it has been Jurassic World, The Avengers: Age of Ultron, Minions, and Fast 7 that have all eclipsed the $1 billion mark this year alone. And I really think that we have the opportunity in 2015 to probably break the record because of the new Star Wars flick coming out right before Christmas. And really, if there's any film that I want to see this year that I want to actually dedicate 2 hours or 3 hours of my life to, since The Lord of the Rings or The Hobbit is now done, it would probably be that. Because even though Disney has it and everything like that, they've not really fucked things up all that bad. They've not really fucked shit up all that bad. You know, and they're still going to be tag teaming with Lucas. And really, after the prequel series, we might need a fresh perspective. We really might, because that was a bit over excessive. It was pretty bad. See you later, Dorepa. Good seeing you. Thoughts on Fozzy? Fozzy is a fun little project. I was huge on them whenever that first came out. I really miss them doing a lot of covers on their albums. You know, I dig their originals, even though they can be a little bit sort of typical for hard rock, you know. But they're just sort of fun albums. Wormwood by Fozzy is just a tremendous song. Really, really good song from a couple years back. And plus, I have a I have a signed T-shirt and a couple of other signed things from Chris Jericho, thanks to an ex of mine, which I still feel like I owe her. Like, I don't know. I may owe her a child because of that. I don't know, but I doubt it, because I don't know if we need another me. I think one's enough. I really do. It's kind of a scary proposition. Metropolis Part 2, favorite track, Home. Oh, God. Really, really good song. The Spirit Carries On is fantastic. Finally Free. Don't dismiss Finally Free. That is a powerful song. Powerful, powerful song. Stuck Mojo. If you haven't listened to some Stuck Mojo, do yourselves the favor, because they were really they were championed a lot by Century Media back in the late 90s, whenever they would release their Identity compilations. We need to get back to some compilations. You know, we got this Punk Goes Pop fucking wretched ass shit. Why can't we get a new Identity? Or why can't we get somebody that is, you know, really championing the heavy metal flag with some really cool compilations? I know we've done like the Roadrunner compilation that I think had like Stone Sour and Opeth on the same comp. That was weird, wasn't it? But, you know, why can't we get something that maybe if it doesn't even come out once a year, maybe it comes out like once every quarter? You know, where is the now that's what I call metal? Is I guess what I'm saying. Because I probably, you know, those videos wouldn't be as fun if I were to review those, but still, it'd be really something cool to really champion. 96 Kentucky, do I watch The Walking Dead? I will be watching The Walking Dead this season on a 2-day delay because I do not currently get AMC. I have a basic bitch cable package. We get like 21 channels and some movie stations. So that kind of sucks. We do get stars. So Ash vs. Evil Dead is go. But a lot of the stuff that we watch, we have, between my girlfriend, myself, and her brother, we have a pretty substantial movie collection. I have a huge TV collection that is sorely lacking a lot of titles that I want really, really badly. I'm looking at one of them right now that's not in its proper place, but I'm going to grab it anyway. I just have stuff everywhere in here because I have more than I actually have space for, which sucks, but at the same time, it really just shows that this is a craft that I've been dedicated to for a long time. It's the Arctic Monkeys. If you guys don't like this album, if you guys like rock music and don't like AM by the Arctic Monkeys, I don't know if we can be friends. It's just the truth. Such a good album. But that's my bush. I got this. This was one of the last things I got whenever I was working at the store, I think. No, I've had this for a while. Never mind. I just found it right around the time that yeah. Amazing show. It's a shame that it only lasted, you know, the short time that it did, but it's really, really funny. And then, as you know, I'm a wrestling fan. Man, it sucks that Sting is hurt. It really does. But, yeah. But, what's my view on King 810 Guitar Master? They suck. Oh, my God. I kind of get what they're all about, though. They're just not my cup of tea. If you like them, that's great. That's good. They do have one thing, though, is that unlike a lot of other bands that feel like their rage, their hatred, and all this shit is like they're trying to win a biggest balls competition, King 810 at least has... They lived in a legitimate war zone, like in a legitimate bad area where this kind of stuff that you only hear about whenever you hear about problems in other countries really seem to be right there in their home. You know, where there was essentially anarchy in that area. So I don't necessarily like them. I don't like their music, but I respect them. And that's also the reason why I didn't review their album, why I don't, you know, go off the handle whenever, you know, I talk about bands negatively, because they at least, their message at least feels a little bit more legitimate. You know what I'm saying? It's one that feels a little bit more real. Now, if that's what they use to try to carry their career, you know, throughout 10, 15 years, then we might have a problem. Then we might have a real issue. There are other shenanigans that they're doing and stuff like that. That could kind of tone itself down, but that's like telling Varg not to burn down a church. He hasn't done it in a while, but doesn't mean he's probably thought of, you know, not thought about it. Favorite album cover farts. I did a lovely cover fart of Carry On, Wayward Son by Kansas whenever I took a shower about an hour before I came in here. And last night, I'm fairly certain that I farted Symphony Number 7 by Beethoven. I think that I did. Consequently enough, He also, after I was done in the bathroom after that symphony, it smelled as though I was trying to simulate the smell of Fallout 4. But that's kind of the breaks. That's kind of what happens. Thoughts on Oasis? What the fuck happened to them? Really, I mean, they had everything in the palm of their hands. They really did. And the Gallagher brothers just could never get along. And, you know, What's the Story? Morning Glory is a great album. The follow-up is kind of only halfway good. You know, that was really the album that needed to be... It needed to eclipse What's the Story? Morning Glory in so many people's eyes. And it's almost like, you know, it's like Burnout for musicians, where there is a lot of expectation and there's a lot of demand, and you want to be the rock star and just keep on releasing great material like the Beatles supposedly did, which I agree with, actually. I think that the Beatles are a band that get a lot of flack for no reason, because by and large, even their worst material is still in some way either solid, musically speaking, like on from a songwriter's perspective, or just fun. Like the stuff whenever they were more of a boy band is just fun. It really is. Like, it's fun stuff. I will give you a great example of this. Are you ready for this? I don't know if you're ready for this. We're going to find out if you're ready for this. We're actually going to also find out if I can access this. Because if I can't, then we're kind of up shit creek, and I'm going to look like a big, fat dummy. This also might get this stream flagged, but you know what? At this point in time, who really gives a fuck? Not about the money and shit anyways. So you don't think that the Beatles material, their boy band material supposedly, could be fun? Well, let's change things up a little bit. Let's change how it sounds just a little bit and see what happens. I'm not sure if you're going to be able to hear it. I'm going to lean this a little bit. The link is in the chat right now. I'm going to shut that down and try to really avoid everything. That is Cookie Monster. That's Debauchery. You want to talk about a band that just doesn't give a fuck. But Debauchery is a death metal band that's out of Germany, I believe, if I remember correctly. And this gentleman was a school teacher that also wanted to be in a death metal band, and he was. It's called Debauchery. He still is. They released a new album this year. And on an album called Back in Blood back in 2006, I believe. I'm going to have to check my shit here. It doesn't say. But they decided to do a bunch of covers. One of them was that. Another one was We Can't Dance by Genesis. They did a cover of War is Coming by 6 Feet Under, which instead of it being the full metal version, it was done acoustically. So it was known as the Chill Out Session. It's just fantastic stuff, you know. It's really, really cool. But Debauchery is a really fun band, very underappreciated, very underrated. Highly recommend them for people who like death metal and just enjoy having a little bit of fun, because they're not a band that's necessarily going to set the world on fire, but they don't need to. And plus, like I said, the dude basically had the choice between being in a death metal band and maintaining his career as a school teacher, and said, you know what, teaching kids is kind of cool, but fuck you, I like death metal. Can't get much more metal than that if you ask me. That's pretty badass. Oh, boy. I just might never end. I might have just killed myself. Oh, my God. Do I like baseball? Asks the baseball god. I do. Fuck the Cubs. But Jake Arrieta is a beast. Yeah, man. I've been enjoying the past 3 years with the Pirates being in the playoffs and stuff like that. I used to be a big Braves fan in the 90s and the first part of the 2000s. But, like, whenever I got back from school, which is like 2006, 2007, somewhere in there, I just started watching every single Pirates game and just really fell for the team again. You know, even though they were struggling at that stage, you just saw that there was something. Like, it couldn't last forever. So any team that really is kind of in the bottom of the barrel, if you're a fan base that's struggling, just think to yourself, it can't last forever. We're going to make it this time. Kevin, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but Back to the Future also predicted that we would have flying cars or like flying skateboards or whatever it was, like hoverboards, I think it was. And I don't see a hoverboard. It's a trap. The cake is a lie, man. Don't drink the Kool-Aid. The Kool-Aid will not take you to the Hale-Bopp Comet. I promise you. But anyway, thoughts about the Cincinnati Bengals being 5? They have a good team this year. The Bengals have a good team this year. Really thought the Seahawks were going to pull it off on Sunday, but they just chipped away. Sucked too because I have the Seahawks on my fantasy team. First time I've done fantasy football in like 4 years was this year. I got dragged into it. I am 1-3, and this past week I got blown out by like 70 points, mainly because every single person on my team opted to underperform, like to the point where one person actually lost points on the day. Still life for the sky moves sideways. Good fucking, I hate you, Negative Reaper, so much. I really do. You're a fucking asshole. Still life by a microcosm. Still life by a microcosm. Favorite Arcturus album is still the Sham Mirrors, by the way. Hellhammer. Have I heard of Edge of Sanity? I own the first Crimson album. I have not had the pleasure of owning the second Crimson album, Crimson 2. However, I have heard it, and it is magnificent. Both of those albums are very, very good. Purgatory Afterglow is also very, very good. I think that's the title of it, Purgatory Afterglow. If my memory serves me correctly, I'm trying to just thrust this all out of the annals of my mind. I'm really happy to hear you guys talking about some old stuff, you know, like some catalog titles, because that's one thing I'm looking forward to about the next 3 weeks is that what I really want to do is just dig into my old catalog and just enjoy it for the first time in a long, long time. You know, it used to be that I would listen to my catalog, whether it be stuff from the 70s or 80s, stuff that I got back whenever I was 15, or stuff that I had gotten just a day ago. I used to do that every single day. And somewhere along the way, I stopped doing that. And it was to the point where I didn't even know what I wanted to listen to. And now I feel more motivated and reinvigorated to just walk up to something in my catalog, just point, and just put it in, you know, just for shits and giggles. You know, there's also a fun game that I like to play on YouTube where it is essentially the related videos game, where you take you take one album, you enter it in, like one artist, you enter that in, you find a full album by that band, and then you find something on the featured, you know, on the sidebar there, the recommended videos or the the videos that are close to it or something like that. And it's not always true. Sometimes it's something that's way different. And you click on something that maybe you haven't listened to before, either that or you haven't listened to it in a long time, and then you listen to that for a little bit, whether it be the full album or just, you know, a lot of times I'll go like 20 minutes or 30 minutes into something, and then I'll want to move on to the next thing. And you just kind of make make that your soundscape for the evening. And I've been doing that in between other things, less and less these days, and I want to get back to it, especially considering I will soon be running through The Binding of Isaac Afterbirth. And while I love the music to the game, whenever you hear it over and over and over and over and over again over the course of 200, 300, 400, 500 runs, however many, and believe me, whenever the game first drops, I will be just head first into it. You kind of just want something different in the background. Poop Dog's talking about Lindman, which I actually listened to that album while playing Duke Nukem, Duke It Out in DC, because I love old FPSs. I'm a huge fan of like old school FPSs from the 90s. I still haven't fucking pulled the trigger and gotten the entire Doom series to really take things all the way back, but that's going to have to happen in the future. What's my favorite Yes album? Close to the Edge. Close to the Edge is immortal. That is an incredible disc. Nothing, I think, in my mind will ever top it. Do I like Sabotage? I do. I'm excited because there's a new Trans-Siberian Orchestra coming out later this month, which I would not mind actually talking about. Wait, it's either the end of this month or next month. It's coming soon. I'm wondering if it's going to be Christmas themed or if it's going to be like Night Castle, where it's not. Osric Tentacles are very, very good. My favorite Enslaved album. That is a terrific question. See, Below the Lights was my first album of theirs that I listened to. First one that I bought was, I think, also Below the Lights. Either that or it was, I think it's Monumention, which is also one of the best, if not the best. Axoma Ethica Odine is also right up there because that was actually an album of the year on this channel. Wow, they just have a terrific discography. Run is a fantastic album. Vertebra is very good. The new one, In Times, is phenomenal. You know, up until Steven Wilson's album, Hand Cannot Erase, I would say that the front runner for album of the year was In Times by Enslaved. That was probably the front runner. And as of right now, shit, man, it's got such heavy competition. It's probably going to barely crack the top 5 if it does that. I actually want to listen to that album again really, really soon. Should also get Wolfenstein. See, Wolfenstein 3D was okay, but I didn't like it as much as Doom. I don't know what it was. That was just a game that never, for me, gelled all that much. Probably because I played really, really shitty ports of it. There was a really, really shitty SNES port of Wolfenstein 3D that I played, and it really turned me off. Consequently enough, I also have the shitty Doom port for SNES, but that's more for the collector's sake, considering it's the red card. I got that many, many years after its release. Whenever it was, I found it for $5. I couldn't say no. To sit down and play that port on an old SNES and actually enjoy myself during the process would really take putting a gun to my head, because that is just, it's awful. It is really, really bad. It is really, really bad. But the PC ports of those games are phenomenal. They're really, really strong. I like them a lot. But favorite Gorillaz, favorite Cynic, favorite Green Day. Man, is this just a favorite album collection? Man, this is crazy. If you get the Ultimate Doom 3 on Steam, it comes also with 1 and 2. Ooh. Do I masturbate on Fireman? Only on Wednesdays. First Gorillaz album is really tough to beat. Really, really solid disc. Cynic is Focus. Focus is just a legendary album. I have it on cassette somewhere. Favorite Green Day album? I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know about Green Day. I don't listen to a lot of Green Day. I've listened to a lot of Green Day, but I don't listen to a lot of Green Day. You know, like it's been years since I really sat down and listened to a full Green Day album outside of the store, because whenever Uno came out by Green Day, we listened to that shit for probably about a month, and it was pretty good. It was a good album. Dose and Trey, not so much. Favorite One Direction album, Guitar Master. All of them, of course. God. Whenever Zayn left the band, I cried so hard. I have this mark on my leg that finally healed. No! It's finally healed! Whenever I cut myself, it said Zayn come back in blood. But I must not have cut deep enough because it's healed up. Because why do I have to be like a regenerative prick like Wolverine? I saw somebody ask about favorite albums from the 90s. Oh man, favorite stuff from the 90s. I love the first 3 Bush albums a lot, especially Razorblade Suitcase. That was like the first album that I got that was really my introduction to alternative rock as far as ownership, because I'd heard a lot of stuff on the radio or seen a lot of music videos. I've seen the Gin Blossoms a couple of times. They're pretty awesome. Another great band I'd recommend, 9 Inch Nails. The early 9 Inch Nails work is really, really revolutionary. But the ones that really come to mind are some lesser-known favorites. Push Monkey. I still, to this day, adore Push Monkey to death. It reminds me of someone that I really, really care about overall as a person. You know, she and I have been friends for like 16 years. She actually used to come into the old blog TVs, and we shared a moment in that. I'm not sure if any of you are old enough fucks to remember that. As I don't know if any of you were in the old blog TVs back in like 2010. It was a long time ago. In fact, we're right around anniversary time for that. For that moment. Because that was sometime in October of 2010. There's a couple of others, such as Pure Juice by a band called Summer Camp, who I just spoke with one of the members over the summer. I guess they reformed and did some recording of some re-recording of some lost stuff that was available. So that was really cool. I just actually also talked to a former member of Warbringer, which makes me wonder if I actually saw him whenever I checked them out a number of years back, whenever they toured with, I believe it was Overkill. Because I know I definitely saw and chatted with their lead singer in the crowd, because he didn't want to stick around backstage. He wanted to see the show, you know, from the front, you know, the best seat in the house, which is in the crowd. And sure enough, there he was. You know, you're kind of looking forward and watching the band, and then as the bands are, you know, switching up, I turned to my left, and there he is. It's really fucking cool. Really neat. Go watch a video by CS188. Who is that? Who is CS188? That sounds like it should be the serial number to like a printer port. How often do I spread mammal sauce on my wang? Listen up, Tuna Boy 45. This is how the struggle has been for the past year. I've had no money to spread mammal sauce on my wang. And let me tell you something, it has been the worst year ever because of it. It really has been. It sucks so bad. It sucks so bad. I will find out. Glenn Gregan? Is that the name? Glenn Gregan? Nickelback equals the chairman of thrash metal. Yes, of course they do. They really do. Favorite Justin Bieber song? Oh, man. Boyfriend, of course. Because here is a little known fact about Boyfriend by Justin Bieber. He is not singing that to a girl. He's singing to me. It's to me. It's a special moment. That's why I didn't rip it to shreds. That's why I didn't destroy that song, because I knew that it was all about me. But in reality, now that he's become a gigantic dickwad, I had to go and date Selena Gomez instead of actually fulfill his promise of dating me. The song is Bonafide Balls. Justin Timberlake called, wants his sound back, and now he's doing shit with Skrillex and Diplo. What a little fucking traitor. Where's my Selena Gomez poster? I don't have one. I don't have one. Took Bieber away from me. That's why I went with Ariana. Pop culture sucks, man. Pop culture's ass. But the funny thing about it is that I can be there's so much entertainment within pop culture that it makes it so easy. It makes it so easy to talk about this. It got too sticky. DJ, have you ever seen Spring Breakers? Anybody actually, have you ever seen the film Spring Breakers? That it actually stars Selena Gomez. Do I still have a crush on Ariana Grande? Of course. Of course. Why do you think I didn't make a CKN Reacts to her donut licking incident? Because the CKN Reacts would have been very, very simple. Leave her alone! Fuck. People that are complaining about that stuff said way worse on like a daily basis. So, fuck it. That movie is art. Oh my god. That movie is ass. That movie is ass. I remember that somebody was saying, oh man, I have to have this movie because you see Selena Gomez's tits. And I sold it to him. I didn't have the heart to tell him that you don't see Selena Gomez's tits. The only person in that film whose body that you see outside of the confines of a two-piece is fucking what's her name, Coraline, because the director was actually her boyfriend, fiance, husband thing. So it was almost like Spring Breakers could have actually had the subtitle of the Harmony / whatever, Rachel Coraline porno or whatever. I don't know. Rachel Coraline, is that her name? I didn't give a shit. By the end of that movie, Selena Gomez was fucking useless, and one of the other girls whose name I can't remember, because why do that? You know? Why remember the name whenever you already got what you want? Am I right? Am I right? Chauvinistic fucks. One of the others was really the star of that show, better looking than everything. Yeah, but yeah. What tits does Selena have anyway? Apparently, on her new album cover, "That's My Boy Is Better Than the Godfather." Someone please ban him. But yeah, apparently on the new Selena Gomez album cover, there's one of them where she's like naked and, you know, of course, obviously holding back the massive memories that she possesses, which it almost looks like kiddie porn. Like whenever you look at it, it looks like kiddie porn. So kind of gross. Do you think that Taylor Swift is a lesbian? No. In fact, I have. See, here you go. Here's how you can tell that I need a hiatus. In the course of the past year, 2 things have happened that have been absolutely terrible. Obviously, the fact that, you know, Ariana Grande had to suffer horribly whenever people who say worse things than "I hate America" started attacking her for saying that and licking a donut. Listen, that donut looked delicious. I'm just going to say that. That if I didn't have money and that donut's right there, as delicious as it looked, that donut provoked her. That donut provoked her. It didn't need to look like that. It didn't need to look like that. That donut wanted to be raped by that tongue. Much like I want to be raped by that tongue, but that's another story. But the second thing that has happened is that I've now started to find Taylor Swift somewhat attractive. And I don't think that she's a total cunt anymore. Like in the top 10 douchebags of music 2015 lists, spoiler alert, she's not going to be on there. I almost I almost wonder if I dated Taylor Swift, what that would be like. Would we discover that Taylor Swift really is a virgin? Or would we discover that behind closed doors, all Taylor wants to do is slob on CKN's knob? Fair question. Fair question. Thoughts on Danzig? Danzig has a new album coming out. He's okay, you know. I'm not huge on it, but that's what's up. That's what's up. Yeah, the only thing about Taylor is she is a little small. She's also tall, though. I mean, like, there's so many aspects about that, and that Rolling Stone cover from last year really kind of, oh, I got the old motor running a little bit, let me tell you, because you know, you see that pristine image, and you just think to yourself, man, like, after painting that picture for however many years it's been, like, don't you just sort of hope that one of those people comes home, like, goes to their mansion, and, like, their man or their woman is right there, and they're just like, listen, I need 3 things. I need a bottle of Grey Goose vodka. I need a Cuban cigar, and I need you naked within the next 15 seconds. So there you go. Oh, so what's the decision? Victor, man, you are late. You are late. There's going to be a hiatus until the end of this month. And there's other stuff as well. Whenever the video goes live on YouTube, check out the first, like, half an hour of this stream, and you'll get the full. Someone was asking about Wiz Khalifa. Demi Lovato, yeah. Hell, why not? I'd do that too. Okay, no more questions for just a second. Real discussion. Real discussion. I wish that I had the visual reference in front of me, because I made this assumption earlier today. Why does it seem that every single see, people complain? I'm gonna preface this first of all. Sorry, people complain about Miley Cyrus always having her tongue out in some precarious, like, stupid position, like, and, you know, you get to see the fact that, you know, back whenever she had more hair, as opposed to the little cut that she has right now, actually works better for her. It doesn't make her look like a horse face. That was the fucking problem. Last song, the movie The Last Song, there was a photo on the back of it where she's like, and she looks like a fucking horse face. It's crazy. People give her all sorts of shit for being doing that stuff. She has that one Rolling Stone picture where she's, like, licking her shoulder, like, or some stupid shit like that. They give her all this crap. She's a whore. She likes. Why does nobody call out the fact that it seems like every picture that I see of Katy Perry, and I mean every picture of Katy Perry that I see, they have caught her doing, and it looks like she's either going to perform fellatio on the microphone that she is holding, obviously, or she has said on the microphone, okay, boys, I'm ready, one dick at a time. And she's just waiting for this occasion to commence. Why does it always seem like Katy Perry has her mouth open, like she's ready to just gargle, ingest, perhaps inhale the male stiffy? What the fuck? And second of all, obviously now that this has been seen so often in so many photographs, she either has her mouth open and prepared perpetually 24/7, or why are these photographers seeking out these shots? Are they trying to build a portfolio that they're going to put into some sort of museum? Come see the many faces of Katy Perry. There's only one. Cock gargling, Katy Perry mode. I know I'm not the only one. You're confirming that. You're confirming that, man. One person once said that Katy Perry looked like one of my exes, or one of my exes looked like Katy Perry, vice versa. So in a weird way, does that mean I tapped Katy Perry vicariously? Maybe. I don't know. I don't know if that'd be as fun. See, I don't think Katy Perry would be fun. I don't think she would be fun at all. I know we've completely derailed this stream, but I'm having fun with this. All right, Tuna Boy, good night. Thanks for coming in. See you later. Have a good one. Do you think that there will be a world left when you make a channel going against it? No. This world is not worth saving, Guitar Master. I am aiming to destroy it. Do I have a girl now? DJ, I've had a girl for a long time, man. It's been years. It's been years. Katy Perry looks like she would be a... See, Liz, here's the thing, Liz. I don't know. Like, she'd be fun to hang out with, like, go shopping with and do photo ops and stuff. Like, I could see her being an enjoyable individual to be around. But whenever it comes to getting down and dirty and possessing a relationship of some level, I don't know if the same would apply. I really don't know. That's why I'm saying, like, maybe Taylor Swift is a closet freak. Like, she comes home, you're there because you're not fucking Taylor Swift. Well, you might be, but you're not Taylor Swift, so you're not in her pots. You're entourage. Maybe they're trying to keep the relationship a secret from TMZ, considering they blow everything up and would probably say, "Oh no, Taylor Swift's husband is raping cattle." Who knows? But it's, but maybe she comes home and she like kicks off her shoes, like she doesn't put them in some pretty design. Fucking stupid shoes. And then she like goes into the kitchen and gets like a birthday cake or some sort of cake that her fans have made for her. Just throws off her shirt, takes off her bra, just dips her chest right down into it and turns to you, male or female. I'm not discriminating. She just turns to you and said, "Okay, dinner's on me." I don't know. I really think she's got the better opportunity. The only difference is the fact that Katie would arguably have, I guess, the larger portion of snack available, but that's really kind of chauvinistic and insensitive. Much like the past 45 minutes of the stream, but you get what I'm saying. But Liz, I love the fact that you mentioned that. That's really, really funny that we're speaking about this. And then what's really fun is that I had a coworker that's very much like that, very much like that conversation we just had, Liz. That was basically what we did for some hours whenever we would work together and there would be nobody in the store, like it'd be late in the evening or something like that. We just talked about anything. We didn't give a shit. Rihanna is a true freak. Like, Rihanna is one of the only people that I know in this twisted society in 2015 that gets smacked up by Chris Brown and basically walks back and says, "Bitch, you didn't kill me. You better fucking do that the next time or else you're staying with my ass." Is she even still with Chris Brown, or am I just making that up? Are they still are they still an item? Are they still a thing? Or did she move on to somebody who is a little bit more into actual BDSM? Oh, man. Who's a closet freak? I am a closet freak. No, I'm not. Oh, she's not with Chris Brown anymore? Well, that's a shame. That means that, hey, good night, Lightning. Later on. She left his ass. What about the rest of his body? She's still with his dick? That's cool. I'm kidding. My favorite black metal albums. I am a fan of Star Wars. In fact, I just got done saying that I wanted to see the 7th one. It's probably the one film of this year that I actually want to spend money on because it's really expensive to get the movies. My favorite black metal albums, there's a lot of them. I don't cover a lot of black metal on the channel, but before I mention anything, Cal Blagoroth has a little production label called Celestial Oak Productions that you should check out and like on Facebook. He's currently running a pre-order for a black metal album title that some of you may want. It's a little bit on the underground. But yeah, whenever you think about black metal, it depends on how far you really want to go back, because the classics like Emperor and Dark Throne, obviously I'm a big fan of. Immortal was one of the best shows I've ever been to. It was really, really awesome. They have some great albums out there. Watain, Dissection. These all sound, first tier, upper tier bands, which is pretty true. But then there are groups such as Ragnarok that are really, really good as well. And it's just a style of music I don't really get the opportunity to dive headlong into all the damn time. You know what I mean? Liz, I keep coming back to you because you remind me so much of my coworker Michelle. It makes my heart happy. Shakira does, those hips really don't lie. They don't lie whatsoever. And the things that she can no doubt do is stupid. Like, think about just the fact that, like, imagine just being at home with Shakira, for example, and for no reason at all, while she's like going to get a Pepsi Cola or a bag of Doritos, she's just doing a little dance. She's just doing a little hip dance there, just for fun, just for funsies, just for funsies. Man, that'd be so fucking cool. It really would be. You know, there's a lot of folks. There's one individual in particular that would always talk about Tony Stark, about Robert Downey Jr. and everything like that. True or false, ladies and gentlemen? I want your opinion on this. Did Robert Downey Jr. all of a sudden, just out of the blue, become a sexy man in the eyes of so many young doofuses because he was both Sherlock Holmes and Tony Stark, or did something secret happen in the background where he was always really seen as a sex icon in the eyes of doofy girls and dudes, and we just missed it until now? I love how you're just Egyptian and Colombian. God damn it. Rawr. Rawr. All the girls that are in this room, if you're bisexual or not, you guys are awesome. You're like, you know how some people say we are the 1%? You guys are like the 5% of this fan base. And I really appreciate that. There should be a lot more of you. There really should be. But I understand I am not the best looking guy in the world. But I understand that. I dig that. And it's also something that, you know, as terrible as it sounds, and this is another great topic, metal, especially with some of the stuff that we talk about, like if I praised like the Black Veil Brides and stuff like that, probably would have a huge female fan base. No offense. And also a huge dude fan base that probably wishes that they were cats. But, you know, the metal that we talk about on this album definitely, or on this channel, definitely sort of caters toward a bit of a masculine crowd. I mean, true or false? I think it's false. I think it's false, but it seems that way. You know what I mean? Or bisexual guy. Okay, that's cool. That's even better, Joker fan. That's a really, really cool thing. Oh man, Joker fan, you were killing me. Guitar Master, I have been in a band. It was very short-lived. It was really cool. It was really cool. The new Tame Impala, if you're talking about progressive pop or psychedelic pop, one, that's a really good album to scope out. Rose Windows just had a really good album. Too bad they broke up. You know, whenever it comes to prog pop, the line is really, really, it's really kind of a hairline, because some could actually say that Steven Wilson's a bit prog pop. When did it become a thing in popular music of women turning innocent to all sex kittened up? I don't know. I really don't know. Oh my gosh. I'm going to have to talk to Liz off the camera here, because maybe, just maybe, this is, that needs to, maybe that collab needs to happen. Just call the whole entire show CKN and Liz have questions about everything. Because I don't know, like, when did this happen? When did it become a thing where people actually forgot how the human body works? Mittens right now is sleeping. Joker fan, yeah, you can join. Who cares? It'd be great. That'd be awesome. Yeah, Mittens is sleeping right now. I may try to wake him up right before I sign off because we're getting pretty close. We're getting pretty close. When did it become cool to be stupid? I read this thing where somebody said that they wait to have sex until the nighttime because at nighttime the sperm are asleep. So not only can she not get pregnant, but she also is still a virgin. Like, is it now just cool to try to find like really, really funny loopholes like that just for fun? Or do people actually, do you think, feel this way? ADF 96, what about me? I know, what about you? What about Raven? Raven was great. I like Raven. Raven's a good band too. Favorite Neurosis album through Silver and Blood? Oh man, I did a whacked out video about that disc a long time ago. And yeah, it was really, really fun. Because I look back on that now and think to myself, I was trying to do something really, really different. And it didn't work at all. Do you think there are a significantly more female vocalists than instrumentalists? Ivan has a good question right there. And Liz met Eddie Vedder. Are you from Chicago, Liz? Because we may have some issues here. No, I'm kidding. Are you secretly AJ Lee and you're dating CM Punk, married to CM Punk? Because if you are, I'm better. No, I'm kidding. I love CM Punk. Missed the hell out of that guy. But I think that there has been a trend, or there was a trend for a couple of months or years there, where a lot of bands were being signed on that had either the male and female dual vocals. Either that, or as you stated, there were female-fronted projects. Like Sister Sin, I've heard some people say some stuff about Sister Sin. Their stuff is not really all that unique. And, you know, this is the worst part about 2015. The worst part about 2015 is that I can't even... You can't even be honest about an album like that and say that it's just kind of meh, it's nothing special, without faux feminism coming through the woodwork and saying it's just because you're a man, you don't understand this or that or blah 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 blah. What do I think of the PG era of wrestling, Liz? It is balls, 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 balls. Not a big fan. Two of my favorite reasons to watch wrestling are now gone. One still remains in the form of Paige, because my God, is she just British and adorable. But AJ Lee is gone, and that girl had an ass for days and was legit talented. There's a lot of legit talented divas that are coming up. So women's wrestling, if given the proper like push, and NXT just proved that because they did an Iron Woman match as a main event and it worked. That could be something, but the whole entire product needs to teeter a little bit more upward toward that teen territory to get me back. Marvel or DC? What do you think of movie states? I feel like right now I'm just like I'm like focused on Liz because she reminds me so much of my friend Michelle. It's great, and I apologize for that. But I'm a little bit more leaning toward the DC stuff, especially Batman. I thought Nolan's Batman trilogy was really good. And I collected some Batman comics. So Marvel is cool. You don't get me wrong, but whatevs. Oh man, favorite modern punk bands. I really don't listen to much. I really don't listen to much punk. I thought about making a battle jacket, then realized that I can't sew for shit. PC Master Race, yes, leaf alike, guys. Hiss. Is sex really overrated? No, it's underrated. My new job is in insurance. The insurance business. What were you saying about Chicago? Just Pirates bitterness. Not really, actually. You guys are up 2-1 in that series. You guys have a chance to make it past. You guys have a chance to make it past the Cardinals, and then if you do that, you're your own worst enemy. Like, I prayed that nobody brings a billy goat to the stands or to the arena. Someone, yeah. I'm losing my mind here. I had made a status, and if I can call this up really fast, it may be worth it. Huh. My friend Michelle is online. That's hysterical. Why the hell is she not in here? Oh, well. And someone was asking about the next 25 years, which pop artists are going to be in the Hall of Fame. Oh, that's definitely not it. Those are suggestive photos. No, they're not. I'm kidding. Or am I? Son of a bitch. Okay, yeah, there we go. There we go. Can I get to this? Okay. The year is 2040, 37 years in the future, because this was made in 2013, obviously. The place, Cleveland, Ohio, an arid night with thick putrid air that surrounds the circumference of an odd-shaped building with a pyramid-style architecture. The event? Blood on the dance floor being inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Justin Bieber, a 2038 inductee, presents the award along with Taylor Swift, Lautner, Mayer, Styles, Sheeran, Pattinson, Simpson, Stamos, who is a 2037 inductee. Lil Wayne is in attendance, though he now goes by Grandpa Wayne, and his son, Teeny Wayne, and grandson, Teeny Tiny Wayne, ages 16 and 3, respectively, are performing at the event, their latest hit off of their second album, which is entitled Dopey Rope, a nonsensical ballad about the new trend of licking rope soaked in Clorox 2. The album, entitled We Is You, has just gone 8 times diamond, thanks to the baby boom that started in 2020, blamed largely on Nicki Minaj's vagina. Yeah. So yeah, I've thought about this a little bit, not with any sort of level of seriousness. 25 or 6-4, Chicago. Chicago's good stuff. Chicago is fantastic. Where south of Pittsburgh do you live? Why, Nomo? We'll be on the Carter 55. I'm not a human being 37. I'm taking these sunglasses off. I'm like on the downhill slide here, so. Woohoo! Did I miss that? Did I miss where it was? Shadow Wolf. I'll see you later, brother. Thanks for coming in. Butler, I think it's south. Butler is north. I was just in Butler County Saturday. I was just in Butler County on Saturday in Evans City. Oh, man. Now, we are down to about 15 minutes. I want to take these last 15 minutes and answer just a couple more questions about specifically any concerns or thoughts that you have regarding the channel that's coming up. You know, anything that you're wondering what's going to happen or anything of that variety. To recap everything, this is not a departure. This is merely a hiatus, a vacation. Should be back by the 31st. The only reason why anything would come, but we would come back any earlier, would be to react to something, or if an album is that good. Am I shutting the channel down? No. Cover Killer Nation will not be shut down. It will not be deleted. There is a second channel that will be actually coming up. Liz, I have thought about it. I'm creatively stupid whenever it comes to actual visuals. If you know some people, I'm not sure if you're on the Cover Killer Nation Facebook page. If you aren't, definitely get over there. Drop me a message over there. We should definitely talk anyhow. The now lists will actually keep coming, Joker fan, principally because that is what I'm planning to come back with. That is what I'm planning to come back with. Wait, Ryan, is this really happening on your birthday? I am so sorry about that. But Ryan, what's going on? Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. I'm a terrible Elvis impersonator. Happy birthday to you. Will I make a video that links to CKN versus the world? Yeah, I probably will. Either that or all I would say to everybody watching is definitely join the Facebook group if you're not a part of the Facebook group right now. It's pretty easy. It's gotten to the point now where if you just look up Cover Killer Nation in the search bar, you can find it. If you only have me on Twitter, I'll definitely post about it over there too. I'll actually make an effort for that. Quick warning, Watch Me is now on Now 56. It's going to be really hard for any other song to beat that. So, man, I hope something does. But if not, all that means is that the rant for that is going to have to be nuts. Do I have anything to say to Darren Walk? He made a 17-minute long video that I could only make through 4 minutes of and says that I don't have charisma. Really, my true response to him is that if he feels like he'll never get burnt out, that's great. I'm really glad. I'm really happy for him. I really am. I hope that he never experiences anything that causes him to have to make that choice, because he has a connection with his fan base just like anybody else on YouTube does. So I hope that he has a great career. I myself was not impressed enough to want to subscribe to him. I was kind of bored with his monotone voice and his lacking of charisma that he says that I lack. Okay. But I hope that he never has a situation that comes up where he needs to think about taking time off or anything like that. Basically, all I'll say is that he might not think that burnout's possible, but whenever he feels it, he'll know it. Lotus Eater is a Dead Can Dance reference. It's also a reference to a Opeth song and I believe a Nevermore song. Well, I do classics reviews. I'm going to work on most of the stuff that I would like to get done. Oh, the Heavy Metal Hall of Fame list? No, I haven't. So keep on spreading the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction CKN reacts to all your friends. That way they can put in their votes for the first wave of the Heavy Metal Hall of Fame. Yeah, that's something that should be stated because that has not been, nothing's been announced for that yet. That probably won't happen until at least a month or so. I don't know. Only because I want to, it's something where if somebody just sees it after being away for a week and you already announced what it is and they kind of miss it, that kind of sucks. So I want to give it a little bit of time. I definitely want to finish the Rush discography. That is big, that is huge, that is key, that is critical. Because I want to get into the Porcupine Tree one too, because man, it's just a great, great collection. And there's a lot of side projects and stuff. And I'd like to talk about some of them, but man, oh man, that might cause burnout by itself. Porcupine Trees, Steven Wilson has so much music out there. It'd be cool to talk about it all, but man, that will get monotonous in a hurry. Oh man. Someone said that Now 56 already has a track listing out. Now 56. track list. I want to see this. We acted this live. I think this is wrong. I think this is the. This is definitely the. Yeah, this is definitely the European version. As the Euro version, I want not that. I want not that. Great fucking amazing sentence structure right there. I want. Is that it right there? I think that's it right there. Give it to me. Oh, I guess I never have technically done a Mars Volta album on this channel. Because I reviewed an old album of theirs a long time ago before CKN changed over to, or Coverkiller changed over to CKN. Troll of Metal, man. 10 minutes left. You just came in. How's it going, brother? The hiatus is real. Everybody tell him I'm never coming back. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Don't do that. Should be back by the end of the month, hopefully. Oh, God, this is animated. Why? Don't do that. Okay, here we go. Okay, let's see. Just from looks here, we have that See You Again song with Wiz Khalifa, The Weeknd, Can't Feel My Face. Is that like the sequel to that song from Chevelle? I can't feel my chest. And only it's going to be like all dances like, I can't feel my face. Anyway. I thought it said R. Kelly, but it's R. City featuring Adam Levine. Locked Away. Haven't heard that. Watch Me Whip Bananas is, of course, on here. Good fucking Christ. Let's All Die. Taylor Swift with Kendrick Lamar's Bad Blood. I'm surprised that wasn't on the last one. I really don't have much of a problem with that song. We'll see how the rest of them do. Can't speak right now. Selena Gomez and A$AP Rocky. Good for You. Cool for the Summer's on here. That song's terrible. Thanks, Demi Lovato. She's kind of hot by 5 seconds of Summer's on here. That's going to make that easy. Fall Out Boy, Uma Thurman. Haven't heard that. Oh, look. Meghan Trainor with Charlie Puth. Oh, Charlie Puth featuring Meghan Trainor. A song called Marvin Gaye. Why do we have to have song titles that are just people? Like, why do we need that? I get it. Band of Horses did it like 1 trillion years ago with, I think, Dikembe Mutombo or something like that, or Dietrich Schrempf. But now it's everybody. Now it's, Barbara Streisand by Duck Sauce or whatever the fuck that band was called. And there was one for Bill Murray, which I think was Fantagram. I don't remember all this crap. What is it? Why do we have to? Why? Anyway, Rachel Platten Fight Song. Don't know that. Ed Sheeran's Photograph. Oh, there's a Meghan Trainor. Meghan Trainor's on here twice. Oh, great. Oh, man. Love my life so much. Shawn Mendes, Stitches. Okay. Ellie King, X's and O's. Okay. There's a Luke Bryan song on here. Well, that's guaranteed to probably be fucking on the list. And what's next? Who do we have here? Nick some Nick dude. The Royal Concept with Smile. Cornell Cruz. Gavin James. Parson James. There's Jameses everywhere. And Skylar Sleckler. 22 tracks on here, which means that these songs best be fucking short as hell. They best be short as hell. If the Beatles are to suck. I should just start talking in that deep voice with everything. The Beatles are to suck, especially after Rubber Soul. What do you think of Green Day, and are you excited for their new album that's being planned? I own the first 2 Now albums. They have changed a lot. I agree. Remember back whenever they actually had rock songs on Now albums? Do you? Will I join the Reptilian Brotherhood? No. I don't think that I could tip the scales properly. I think I'd be just tempted to slither away. Can you review Planetary Duality by The Faceless? I'll do it right now. It's good. You should listen to it. The Faceless, even though they've had all their problems with membership and blah, 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 are amazing. So bad. Greetings from Norway. You are here. I'm so sorry. I'm about to be gone. Robin Trower is amazing. Really good stuff, man. Coverkillernation. Joseph, I am not related to you at all. There was some pop that was really, really terrible back then, but I think that She's So High by Tal Bachman was on one of the first ones, and that was a pretty good track. Like, I think that they missed the truest of all pop songs, Truly, Madly, Deeply by Savage Garden. I think that was pre-now. But at any rate, that weather's pretty good. That weather's pretty good. You know, Roy Khan. Khan! How is Roy doing? How is Roy doing? Is he doing all right? Like, seriously, like, real talk. Is he doing cool? Bridge of Sighs, whenever it comes to Trower, you're absolutely right. Like, I love his version of that and also love the Opeth cover. Listen, Savage Garden was legit good. I don't care what people say. Savage Garden was legit good back whenever I was like 13. I really, really wanted to share a Chicky Cherry Cola with Savage Garden. I think that'd be pretty sweet. I'm glad that Khan is doing well. I read that article that was posted a while back about Khan whenever he got out of heavy metal and everything like that. I'm just really, really glad to see that he's happy with life, because it seemed like he was really not having a good run with it and everything. So I'm happy to hear that he's a lot better whenever it comes to life and everything like that. You know, a lot of people, I think, gave him some grief considering he went into the ministry and everything like that. But that is, whatever makes somebody happy, you have to really just, it's not always going to be what you want. You know what I mean? Jason Derulo did miss the Now 55 Worst list because it was so, there were other songs that were way worse than it. Will I be reviewing The Color Before the Sun by Coheed and Cambria? Dustin Harris, I already have. And I didn't even realize that I released the video a week too early. Scott Stapp is living on the street. I would not be surprised, because Scott Stapp has gone off the deep end. He has gone off the deep end. He really has. How about just doing live streams from now on? I might still pop in and do a couple live streams. Like, that's one thing I thought about. I thought that maybe during the hiatus, maybe just once a week, I'd pop in and hang out for a couple hours. That still might happen. I don't know. Because this is fun. You know, we're talking about anything and everything. You know, we went from talking about pop culture divas to wrestling to old school gaming to, and now we're talking about music again, but not necessarily just metal. It shows how diverse we are, you know, as an overall group. Even though this has basically been like the CKN reads everything Liz Graham says show, but that's basically just because she reminds me of like one of my best friends, which is amazing. Better see you on Christmas Eve. Oh, yeah? Oh. Where am I going to be on Christmas Eve, huh? Huh? We're going to definitely, the one thing that I'm going to say before I sign off is that regardless to what is happening right now, December is going to be incredible. December is going to be incredible. As I'm trying to say that, I read, does anybody else think the front man for At the Gate sounds like a giant crow? And John Cena sucks. I have not listened to Deer Hunter. I love Penis. I love Pens. I love Pens. Why have I not listened to him? I don't know. I just haven't. Oh my gosh. Now I want to go out and listen to Slaughter of the Fucking Soul and just imagine just crows singing it. Just fucking crows singing it, man. It's going to be great. Yeah, Touchy Feely Tunes. I got to roll because I got to pick up my girl from work and get this Get this thing on the road, man. Get this hiatus on the road. I think this, you know what? I will probably do my best to do at least 1 or 2 streams during this hiatus just for fun, man. This is a blast. This is a blast. You know? But like I was trying to say before, that whole thing with crows, oh my God, that just completely killed my momentum. December is going to be really awesome because we're going to have a lot of lists to talk about. And I know that a lot of the lists videos are what some people really have come for. Don't forget about the top 10 biggest douchebags of 2015 list from last week. I really thought that video was going to really get me reinvigorated and everything. And whenever that didn't happen, that's whenever I knew that I was going to probably be walking down this path. Especially whenever I was reviewing stuff like Clutch and Coheed and Cambria and just really didn't gel, didn't feel the same way. But we have the top 50 lists for the year. It's going to be 50. 15 for, it's going to be either 15 or 20 for rock, you know, non-metal, you know what I mean? Like rock, rap, pop, etc. There's going to be the top 10 douchebags of music or top 10 musical idiots 2015. There's going to be either a top 10 or a top 20 albums that I didn't review for the year. So that's going to be fun. There's going to be the announcement. I think that might be whenever we announce the Hall of Fame. We might just wait till December. So that's like 6 lists. And then, of course, there's the top 10 or top 15 worst albums of the year, which we're going to probably expand to both rock and metal. So, guys, I want to thank you guys for being here. I want to thank you guys also for your support. I may be checking the official Facebook page every so often. So if you check, you know, if you leave something over there, I may I may get a chance to reply over there a little bit and do some stuff. I'm trying to, you know, stay away from it a little bit, but it's going to be really hard to do. But of course, remember that we're aiming to start CKN versus the world, hopefully by this weekend. And so I'm not going to be completely off of YouTube. I'm just stepping away from CKN for a little while on this end to really recharge the batteries whenever it comes to music and talking about it and all that stuff. I'm not leaving forever. The only reason why the videos had so much sort of emotion behind them and everything like that was because it was a rough decision. It was hard. The CDs behind me aren't even mine. Those are my girls. Anyways, thanks again. If unless something totally fucked happens, I will see you guys either the 30th or the 31st of this month, where we talk about the 10 worst songs on Now 56, which now that I see the track listing for it, it's going to be a freaking doozy. I can probably even start listening to some of these abominable pieces of garbage now. Fun for me. Yeah. But yeah, I'll be around. You guys have been great. You guys have been awesome. It's been a lot of fun. Time to go back and recharge the batteries. It's really hard to sign off right now. It really is, but I have to. Because this has been probably the most enjoyable out of all the streams, even though it started on a very sour note. And looking back, I regret very highly using No Surprises by Radiohead in the introduction, because now that means I need to fucking edit it. So I need to edit that out of what's going to be on YouTube. So I don't want to get flagged. I have that debauchery thing in there, but I don't know if anyone's going to actually notice that. I only played like 20 seconds of it, but we'll see. See what happens. I'll talk to you guys later. Thank you once again. Of course, join the Facebook group if you're not a part of that already. I'm thinking about doing Patreon whenever I come back. If you guys have any suggestions on things that you'd like to see for donating money or anything like that, definitely hook me up with any suggestions that you have. Anything in general. You know, if I don't reply to you, it's not because I don't love you, because I do. It's just the fact that I'm relaxing a little bit, recharging the batteries. I'll talk to you guys later. Thanks.